Maka's guides.
What's going on, everyone? MrBlackMagik here on behalf of Maka, bringing you guys another 100% walkthrough for Narcosis. This is going to be on the Xbox One. Game's not out yet on PlayStation, but if it ever does come out, I'm sure you'll be able to use this for the trophies as well. But for this, we're going to be getting all 10 achievements for a total of 1,000 gamer score. 9 out of those 10 are missable. The only exception is the Wanderer for just completing the game. Other than that, all of the 9 are admissible, 2 of which are collectibles. There's a total of 40 collectibles. We'll be picking all those up, 20 collectibles for each achievement. And this walkthrough should take about an hour and a half. I'm recording it live, so I don't know the time, till I do it. But it should take about an hour and a half. This is my third or fourth time through. Normally, this game takes about 2 to 4 hours, and that's due to exploration. There's also a little bit of skill involved. It's not like my other walkthroughs that I did for this channel, Uncanny Valley and Blackwood Crossing, where if you just follow what I do, everything is fine, you're not going to mess up at all. Your mileage may vary on this one. There's platforming sections, there's creatures that can kill you, things like that, areas where you can mess up. And just to show you right in the beginning here, I'm in the main menu. If you go to event log, this is your chapter select. So this will fill in with all the chapters once we go through them. You can also see your collectibles here. They'll be faded, they'll be blacked out, like a little black silhouette if you don't have it, and then it'll fill in with like a little teal color when you do pick them up. So you'll see your collectibles here, and you'll also be able to restart chapters here. And if you happen to mess up anything, if you die, maybe if you just want to restart the chapter, you can always just restart, and you won't lose any progress on your collectibles and obviously achievements. So once you pick up a collectible, it auto-saves, and you won't lose it. It'll still be there for you to pick up, but you don't need to. And before we start, I'm going to go to Settings, Gameplay, and turn off Vibration. Feel free to not do this. Save the settings, and go over to Commence and hit A. And the reason I turned Vibration off is because you're in a big diving suit in this game, and every step the controller vibrates, and so that just got really annoying for me after a while. But again, so there are some skill-based sections, platforming, there's creatures that can kill you, there's spots where you can get frozen or get into areas where too much heat, fall into like an unplayable area.
They're breaking new ground.
And it's not to, say the game's really difficult. It's not. I'm just letting you guys know that things may not be the same for your game as they are in mine. Maybe I get attacked and you don't, or vice versa, or I go through a platforming section perfectly and maybe you missed a spot, missed a jump. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Now, as far as the controls go, if you look around, you're in this diving suit. So right stick, you can look around, but you're still looking around inside the suit. If you actually want to turn, you need to use the left stick to turn around and walk and move forward. So now for this, we're going to inspect this left side. You see the little outline fills in there, and then the right side, let the outline fill in. So on this right side, you have your flares and your thruster. Your flares run out as you use them, and you can use the thruster as much as you want. And we need to inspect our O2 here again on the left side. So on the left side you have your oxygen percentage. See, it's 98% right now. That'll slowly deplete. And then you have your intake. So it's a little realistic where if you get scared, if you get in an area where your guy starts to get scared, the intake will turn yellow, and it's basically like you have an elevated intake, like you're breathing too hard, you're breathing too fast, and so you're depleting your oxygen faster. And so that'll start making it deplete a lot faster where you need to refill. There's O2 tanks and refill stations throughout the game to refill your oxygen. There's also things to refill your flares. So throughout the game, I'm going to just be thrusting pretty much as possible. There's a few sections where you want to take it a little slower, but just to get through as fast as possible, I'm going to be using the thruster, which is right trigger. We actually haven't gotten to the tutorial that explains that yet. So it's right trigger and left trigger for thrusters. You can use either one. I just use right trigger. and it's right bumper and left bumper for flares. I just use right bumper. And then also you see here we got this knife. So if you want to go ahead and just spam it a couple times to see how slow it is, you can't just spam and just start hacking away really fast. It's pretty slow strikes, and it's, you know, a good few seconds in between each strike. So if I just get a little bit used to that. There's a couple achievements that deal with timing your slashes with your knife. So if you just jump across there, we'll be back in this pool. So now we're getting the thruster tutorial. So just hold forward and then right trigger. If you see that little circle filling up, once it gets to that halfway point, it'll turn white, and you can use your thruster again. When it's red, you can't. When it's white, then you can hit it again. So that one we just had to hold back and thrust backwards. So these little yellow boxes here, this is where you'll usually refill up on flares. Sometimes you'll just see them like individually laying around where you pick up one, but they're usually in a box like that. So to actually shoot them, you hold right bumper, aim with the right stick, and then let go of right bumper. You can also use left bumper as it's showing on the screen, but I use right bumper. So we're just shooting them into these 3 yellow circles here on the ground. And so right now we're in Chapter 1. There's no collectibles on this chapter. We won't start picking up collectibles until Chapter 2. Now I am recording this live, so you guys unfortunately won't see the achievements pop on screen. If you watch my other 2 walkthroughs though, you know that that's not a big deal. I'll let you know when achievements should be popping for you, when I get one. And like I said, make sure you jump across this gap here. But like I said, there's sections where I might attempt an achievement, a miscellaneous achievement, and I may or may not get it, and you may or may not get it. But there's a lot of different spots where you can try for it. Right, so it's not like, oh, you messed up on this one spot, now you have to start the whole game over, you can never get it again. It's not like that. There's plenty of attempts that you can try it, plenty of spots where you can try it, and you can always just restart the chapter at any point, whether you want to do it right then and there, or wait till after we beat the game and just come back and try it, however you want. Okay, now we're going to see what the O2 looks like. So here's one straight ahead of us. You can see it, they always have like a little blue flashing light on them, the O2 and the flares do. So just grab that and refill. For the most part, I would say to try to refill your oxygen and use your flares when I do. Just because you don't want to get into a scenario where your percentages and your numbers are way different than mine, and say I get into a really dark area and I use a flare and you don't have any. You know, it might be, not that it's going to be pitch black, but it might be a little harder to see where you're going or see what I'm doing. And then same with oxygen. If your oxygen does get to 0, you will die, so we need to keep an eye on that. For the most part, it's not a big deal until there's only really one chapter where it becomes a big deal. But other than that, as long as you're refilling when you see spots to refill, it's not a big deal. You shouldn't just be walking around, you're at 0. But I'll let you know, and you'll have to see when I'm refilling either my oxygen or my flares. And safest way would just be to do the same. When I'm doing it, you should do it.
27 minutes in. With that kind of
if I die, we all die, right? Or I survive and we all survive. One or the other.
After that came the ocean. By 10:33, only safe havens in a sub or one of the suits.
Okay, now we're in Chapter 2, Only Safe Haven. Sometimes the chapter title will pop up in the bottom left there like it did there, but sometimes it doesn't. I'll let you know we're in the new chapter either way. but it doesn't always pop up in the bottom there. Alright, so now this game is it's a psychological thriller. I don't want to call it a horror, it's more of a psychological thriller. Where there's things like that, where you'll see something, and then you'll look away, and then it'll be gone, and then this will happen. Right, so it's not really a horror where there's like jump scares and things like that. It's more of you're just going crazy being underwater. Now, we're back right here. If you go up to this guy, interact with them, we'll take O2, but that's also our first ID. So you'll pick up both just by interacting with them. Again, the IDs are one of the two collectibles. It's IDs and personal effects are the two collectibles we're going to be going for. I'm going to pop a flare down here. And we're going to make our way around this left curve. You see there's that big rock bulging out right there. So we're going to thrust across, land on that. And then again, over here. This is going to be our first personal effect. These are all just little items that you pick up throughout the game. You see it auto saves and it pops up database updated. Usually it'll always pop up like that. The personal effects, you'll hold them in your hand, and the IDs, he'll like press a little pad on his arm. I'm going to go ahead and refill my O2 and flares here to actually grab the O2. Other than that time right there where it was because we were grabbing O2 and the ID at the same time, it shows them, the animation for the O2 pops up instead of the ID. But usually if it's just an ID on its own without O2 like that, you'll see it in a little animation. So there's a couple of creatures in this game that do interact with you. That is one of them. That's the spider crab. That's what I'll be calling it. I don't know what the hell that thing is supposed to be, but that's what I'm going to be calling it, is a spider crab. I read that somewhere online, and that's what I've been calling it ever since. Those things will kill you in one shot. Basically, if you get too close, they'll just stab one of their legs through this big glass dome we're looking through, and that'll just instantly kill you and set you back a little ways. The other ones are the cuttlefish and the octopus. They look a little similar. You know, you might see a cuttlefish and think, is that an octopus? It is squirting ink at me, but it's actually a cuttlefish. They're easy to differentiate when you're seeing them side by side, but you might think it's an octopus, but it's actually a cuttlefish. And then the last one is the angler, which is those fish with the little tentacle on their head, and that's like a little light. They have sharp teeth and everything. So those four: the angler, cuttlefish, octopus, and the spider crab. Everything else you can just go right, you know, just walk right by you or swim right by you like these little things are doing. These are like baby ones. So once you get into this cave right here, we're gonna slow down. There's gonna be, so stop thrusting. There's gonna be a spider crab up ahead. It's gonna be like in the darkness, kind of off to the right. We're gonna jump into this little kind of pocket on the left to hide from it. So we're gonna see it on the right, then I'm gonna boost forward and hide on the left, so it can walk past. So you can see the darkness up there on the right. There's a spider crab. Now we're gonna boost forward. It's this little indent right here in the cave. Just let it walk on by. The reason I said to slow down is because there's a couple of times where I've done things either like out of order or a little too fast, or I was pressing buttons and the game just couldn't handle it. I just glitched out and basically had to start over. Let's shoot a flare. Real dark. So it's really it was only that spot and one other that you have to worry about. Now, like I said, I'll mention it. The third thing that happened to me won't happen during this playthrough because I'm just not gonna do what happened to me that first time. Alright, now we're in Chapter 3, step by step. There's one collectible in this level. Shoot a flare. I'm gonna go ahead and refill on flares and O2 here. Grab from either of these boxes. This one's a little finicky. There we go. And O2 over here. So as I was saying about the creatures, there's achievements that deal with killing the creatures before they attack you. There's one for the cuttlefish and one for the angler. Basically, they'll like they'll like sprint at you or like swim at you really fast and try and grab you. So just jump across right here. The cuttlefish like wraps its tentacles around you, and the angler like bites you. So you basically have to swipe, time the swipe, so it doesn't connect with your diving suit.
Can't shake the pressure.
Go around right here.
Make your peace with it. Don't let it take the wheel.
And it's a little weird, and again, that's one of the skill-based things where I might time it right, and you have to usually do 2 hits to kill it. So I might time it right, and you might not. So then you'll have to just try again in another spot, and there's plenty of opportunities to try it. I'm gonna shoot a flare because it's getting really dark around here. Alright, we're gonna land on this platform and then wait a second before we go to that next one. Now that it's tipped over, go right across. And I'm gonna boost again at the top too. I don't know if there's a hole right there or not. Alright, now this part is a little bit tricky. We're going to be going inside this pipe. Make sure you're taking it slow through this part. Don't go too fast, because the pipe will keep breaking in certain sections, like right there. You don't want to be like walking right where it's going to break. So we're going to want to go inside the pipe. We're just going to slowly kind of fall down in front of it and then boost forward so we go inside. Just fall down and then boost forward. And again, we're going to go slow through here, because sections will start to break. Like right there, and we boost to get over that ledge, and this one falls completely. So now we're going to want to boost straight across to stay inside. That part kind of falls, boost up. We're going to keep going straight. We're going to want to continue inside through this one. Now we're good. Pop a flare here because we're about to get some more. Grab this O2. Max out on flares and then continue on. That right there is the cuttlefish.
There's protocol for everything. Has to be. Second guessing puts lives at risk. So
I'm gonna go ahead and shoot another flare.
Step by step. So with
I'm shooting flares a little more than I need to, just to make sure you guys can see where I'm going. Obviously, it's not too bad going through when it's dark, but I don't want you guys to get lost trying to follow me and you can't even see where I'm going. Alright, so this guy with the flare right here has our second ID, so make sure we go up and interact with him. Again, that was one where we also picked up O2. But the ID is what we really wanted. And is this thing gonna attack me? Yes, it is. So if it grabs onto you like that, you just mash X really fast to get him off. Same thing with the angler. And maybe he attacked you, maybe he didn't. But the way you want to deal with them is to hit X before they can grab onto you. And if they do happen to grab onto you, then you just mash X to get them off. go ahead and fill up on O2 and flares right here. So now you could have got the sticky situation achievement for defeating the cuttlefish without it grabbing you right there. It's possible. I wasn't trying for it there, so if you didn't, no worries. That's not where I'm gonna attempt it. But it's possible you could have gotten it there. Sometimes the creatures will attack you once and you'll hit them and then they'll just swim away. So they're like, you can't even get the achievement on them because after they get hit once, they'll just leave. But then there's other ones that are more scripted areas where they'll try and kill you and they'll keep trying to kill you until you kill them. So those are the spots where we're going to actually try for the achievement. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 4 from the outside. We're going to interact with this little monitor here. It's going to go through this process, and then we're going to have to interact with it again before we can get through this door.
Seemed intact, so I figured whoever's inside might. Well, maybe it's okay.
Now when it says override airlock, go ahead and hit A on that, and now we can get through this
We
door.
ran all kinds of drills. You believe you know what to expect. But once I got inside, where it's familiar and you should feel safe. Even though I had to, those...
Alright, so there's two doors here. We're going to go on the left one first. It's marked supply storage right there. And straight ahead is our second personal effect in this little toolbox. I'm maxed out on flares, but if you need flares, go ahead and grab them right there. There's also an oxygen tank, I think, or maybe it's flares on the other side of the room. But I'm pretty good, so I'm going to leave them. I'll point out spots like that just in case, you know, if your oxygen is a little lower than mine, or your flares are a lot lower than mine, I'll point them out. I'm not going to go ahead and pick up every single one I see, just to try and get through the game a little faster. But I'll point them out in case you guys need them. So I just grabbed that oxygen right there on the left. Alright, and I'm going to shoot a flare in here, and if we stay on this left side, kind of following this wall, we will grab our third personal effect. It's this little diver in this like glass jar. And I'm going to go ahead and grab an extra flare. So that's where we want to go, where that spider crab is, but we need to go this way first before he moves out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and leave that oxygen tank there for now and grab it on our way out. So our third ID is, again, it's going to be another one that's paired with an oxygen tank. So we grabbed both right there. Maxed out on flares, there's one in that locker if you need it. Now we're kind of getting dragged to the back here, but no worries there, just boost forward. Now slowly go up to the spider crab. I don't know if it'll actually kill you if you just push up super fast to him or not. But let's just not, just in case. So we're going to move slowly and let him move out of the way. Now this is where I'm going to attempt the sticky situation achievement. The one I mentioned about defeating the cuttlefish without letting it grab you. So if you want to wait and kind of watch how I do it, that's fine. If you want to just move forward and try it yourself. But it's going to be at the end of this hall. Cuttlefish will pop out from the left side here at the end. So it's all about distance. You want to give them enough distance to actually do the animation of attacking you. Like if they're too close or too far, they won't do it. And then again, it's just about timing the X button so you hit them before they attach to you. Move slowly, and he's going to come out on the left right here. I'm kind of backing up as I'm doing it too. So there are 2 hits. And I just unlocked the sticky situation right there. So again, you can try it in multiple spots. That seems like a pretty decent spot. if you want to reload a checkpoint later on. But again, there's other spots that you might as well try by the time we get to the end of the game and see if you have it then. Before we continue, there's another ID right here, and that one's just a normal one. You see, like, presses a little button on his arm there. So that was number 4. Now we're gonna come into this room. And I'm not a big fan of these mechanics in like horror-style games like this, where things load behind your screen. Like if you just look fast, sometimes it doesn't do anything. So you kind of have to like look one way, let the game do stuff behind you, and there. I'm not a big fan of that, but looks like you actually have to move through here kind of fast too. Before we continue too far out of this room, so don't go through there yet. If you turn around, this room is different now. We can come back in here, pick up this ID. This is number 5. Now if we go through this room, it'll end the chapter. Now we're into chapter 5.
The surface was off the table, physically or otherwise.
You can actually grab that collectible in chapter 5 by turning around, but it counts as a collectible for chapter 4. I was a little confused on that the first time through. Alright, so now we're on chapter 5, back to normal. I'm maxed out on flares, but there's flares right there if you need them. And I will fill up on O2 right here. We're gonna go through here. Now, this is the other spot where I was saying if you do things in a certain way, you can kind of glitch your game. There's going to be a spot where we answer this ringing telephone, where we just walk up to it, and then when we turn around, something will happen. When I did it, I thought it was like an enemy attacking me, so I started mashing X to defend myself. But it was basically like a scripted section where you just get teleported. And because I mashed X, I was like stuck with my hands like that over my face, and I couldn't do anything. Decided to restart. So when we go to the phone, make sure you don't press anything. Oh, and you know what? I actually unlocked the decoy achievement right here. If you just shoot a flare in here. Because there's that cuttlefish right there. That's not actually where I was planning on going for the achievement, but if you just followed me and shot a flare in there, you probably got that as well. But again, that's a super easy one to try in like a million different spots. I just kind of forgot that cuttlefish was in there. So actually, yeah, that was the Decoy Octopus achievement, by the way, if you pop that. And here is personal effect number 4. So now we're gonna walk towards this phone, and make sure you don't press any buttons like X or anything like that, or right trigger when we turn around here. We're just gonna turn around. This thing's here. See, it attacked me, and when your hands go up like this, I started mashing X, and my hands got stuck in that position. Okay, now we can leave. We're going to turn left out of here. And again, I'll show you guys another spot to get that decoy achievement. Again, really easy if you didn't get it right there. That's not actually the spot that I was attempting to get it. So we're gonna boost across right here. And there's another couple gaps in the floor in this area. Gonna boost around the corner.
Some find ways to cope, others struggle.
There's O2 right here that I'm gonna pick up. So now this is another really easy spot to get the achievement for killing the cuttlefish, the sticky situation. Because I believe you only need to hit him one time in this spot for him to die, instead of 2. So we're going to turn left here, and there's going to be this collectible. Right after you pick up this collectible, that cuttlefish will come alive and attack you. So if you hit him and you time it right, you should only take 1 shot to kill him. So we're going to pick up this ID, O2 with it, turn around. There he is. Oh, I missed it, but... See, he's dead after 1 hit, so if you actually happen to hit him there and kill him before he grabbed on you, that's a really easy spot to get the achievement.
Watching life go by inside the bubble is cruel.
So now this is the spot where I was actually going to go for the Decoy Octopus achievement. When you drop in here, there's actually going to be 2 cuttlefish. One will be straight ahead of you, and one will, like, I don't know, come from this pipe behind us. There's 2 in here. Again, you can go for the achievement for trying to kill them without grabbing you, but you want to go for the decoy one for sure. So right when we drop down, we just shoot a flare straight ahead of us. That'll distract that one right there, and so you should get the Decoy Octopus achievement right off that. If you see the second one's nowhere, I guess it comes from the pipe above us. But now I'm gonna go ahead and kill both of these guys. So just kind of landed. Yeah, there's the second one. You can only attack them when they charge at you. I don't really care for that. If they would ever charge at me. There you go. That's what I was talking about distance before. Like, they won't charge at you if they're too far or too close. It has to be like the right distance for the animation to kick in. Hey, that one's dead. Where's this other one at? There he is. Oh, whatever. He's just... Oh, there he is. So now this one's taken 3 hits. Usually it's only 2, sometimes it's 3. And sometimes, like I saw earlier, it's 1. So now that they're both dead, we're going to grab the ID off this dead body right here. Your oxygen will probably be low if you're like me, because it's been elevated fighting these guys. So make sure you grab that. Go ahead and grab these flares over here. So the only 2 achievements I got were for the cuttlefish, attacking them and killing them without grabbing you, and the Decoy Octopus one. The other one is called Sticky Situation. So Sticky Situation and Decoy Octopus are the only 2 I have so far. So make sure we go back there and interact with that circuit breaker, whatever that is over there. Now we can take this lift. So you're going to hit A to select it, and then A to select the level on F2.
I've seen death before, but not like this.
Go ahead and pop a flare in here. We will be coming back to that room as well. So if you just happen to like leave one of them alive, he'll be back in there when we come back.
All the possibilities run wild.
I'm gonna go around the right side and into this little glass room back here. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a flare because it's pretty dark. So in this room, and on this little filing cabinet thing, I guess. That's our 5th personal effect, and I'm gonna grab this O2 as well. Alright, creepy hand typing on the keyboard, reset level, turn around, there's that. Alright, now there is an achievement in this area, but we'll have to make it to the very top. This is one of the platforming sections. You won't die if you mess up, but you'll fall down a level or 2, and you'll just have to climb back up. So we're gonna turn around this way. We're gonna be going across these desks. You know, if you notice, the area is upside down, so we're kind of climbing on this, like the front of the desks. flare. So we're gonna go across this gap. And these doors are like on a timer, so you have to wait till it's open and then thrust through. Like I said, no big deal if you fall. You'll just drop down a level or two and have to climb back up. You won't die though. Alright, jump across this gap. And shoot another flare right in here. Flares do actually fall too, so if you shoot on a ledge, it'll just roll off the ledge. Now we're going to aim for this little file cabinet right here. We need to land on top of it. So it's kind of right there. Get your footing. And then you can boost forward. And there's a little ledge on this door, so you don't need to wait until it's open. And now you'll see a guy fall through this glass. So that spot where he fell through is actually open, so make sure you boost across this. And all these other ones are, the glass is still there, so you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go to the right, land on this pipe here. Go ahead and shoot a flare into this desk. Yep, and it fell down. Alright, so now for this part, we're going to aim for that top one, but we're going to land on the bottom one. If you see this little ledge on that bottom one. So just hold forward and boost all the way across. Keep holding forward. You'll float down into this bottom door. This is where we actually want to be. You can't make it to that top one. Alright, so now we're at the top. Make sure you curve around to the right and land up on this ledge here. Go ahead and shoot another flare. Now before we go through that door, we're going to go this way. There's a miscellaneous achievement up here. Missable. So I'm going to wait for this door to reset again. We're going to want to float down a little bit in front of it. And then boost through. The reason I wait is just because I don't want to get caught where it shuts right in my face. So now, right here is where I unlock the behind bars achievement. It's just for coming to the spot, looking at this section. Wait there for a second, and it'll pop up. Just popped for me. So that's behind bars, just for locating that guy right there. Now on our way out, we just need to boost back up on this ledge. Alright, I'm going to grab this O2. Now we're back in the same room. This door straight ahead of us was locked earlier, but before we go there, we're going to go back into this room where we fought those two cuttlefish. So floor 1. Probably gonna go grab those flares too, because we're getting pretty low. So before, this door was locked. There's a little penguin right here, that's personal effect 6. Make sure you actually grab it. Don't look at this TV here. And it says like A to look at the TV. Make sure you actually pick up that penguin so you're holding it in your hands. And refill up on flares. Now we can go back through that door. Now there's 2 achievements we can get here, or well, 1 achievement, 1 collectible. The achievement, you need a flare, so if you picked up those flares where I just did right there, you should be good. If not, there's some flares a little bit up ahead. You'll just have to go back a little ways. You know, it's only like 15 steps, so no big deal, but just making sure you guys are aware you need flares for this part.
So with just
So I'm going to go ahead and grab this O2.
Already this hollow quality.
And we're going to go into this first door on the
Drove
left
by the
here,
office when
inside
everyone's
this
gone for the
bathroom.
weekend. Not a lot of time for recreation.
Go to the
but
second
the
stall,
options
second
were
open
there.
one. And right on the right,
Did
there's
their
like a little
best to
pen
keep us
there,
happy.
so pick that up. That's our 7th personal effect. And if you back up and aim a flare right in the toilet. It's right in there. Let it off. Does this little flushing noise and it closes. So that's the Rimshot achievement I just unlocked right there. Now before we go too far ahead, there's going to be a spider crab that shows up. We're going to want to turn around and go right back into that bathroom. So don't go too fast here. There's a spider crab. Turn around, right back into the bathroom. Just like we did with the cave, just let it walk by. Alright, once it's passed, we can continue on. Now if you didn't have any flares, there's some flares right here. You can go ahead and grab those, turn around and shoot it into the toilet. Or maybe if you missed a couple times and you're out, whatever the case, you can grab flares there. This is also a spot where you can get the Decoy achievement by shooting a flare in here, distracting this cuttlefish. You can also try and get the Sticky Situation achievement for killing them without grabbing you. If you already have those, just go ahead and get rid of it. Don't let it grab you like it just did to me. Oh man, this is gonna be bad for when I'm fighting anglerfish. My timing is this off. There, get out of here. Alright, I'm gonna grab this O2 and that little dead person with his jaw moving. We're gonna grab an ID off of him. Number 8. And that's it for this chapter. Now we can just leave. More O2 right there if you need it, in that locker. Alright, so now we're in Chapter 6, Waiting Presence. Now I'm going to go up here and pick this one up, just in case. I believe this is the one that counts for the chapter beforehand. But just to double check, I'm going to pick it up anyways. Like I said, the collectibles are always there, even if you have it already, it'll still be there. And yeah, it didn't save, so we had that one. And just to give you guys an idea, if you hit start, go to event log, you can see down there in the bottom, it's blue. That means we have the collectible. And like for this chapter we just started, they're all blacked out. That means we don't have them. And again, this is also how you chapter select, if you ever want to do that. So, did it not grab the flares? Fill up on flares, fill up on O2. We have a little platforming section here. I'm going to use my flares, make sure you can see where we're trying to land. Little spot here on the left. Shoot another one. Now coming up, you actually can try for the Rorschach test achievement here for dodging an octopus's ink blast. And this will be the first time you actually see an octopus, not a cuttlefish. I'm most likely not going to get the achievement here just because it's not a great spot to do it. See if I can shoot a flare without it falling. So the octopus is right there on that rock in front of me. You kind of saw it when I... Here, screw it, I'll just shoot another one. So right there on that rock. I'll shoot an ink blast right when you get up to him. Like I said, this isn't the best spot, but I'm going to go ahead and just try it for the fuck of it. So if you get close enough to him, you'll do the ink blast, and you want to kind of boost past it. It's not doing it. There it is. Boost. Yeah, I'm not going to get it, so... That's not the best spot, because you really don't have anywhere to move right here. So don't worry if you don't get it there, but... Just thought I'd give you a heads up that you can get it there. But make sure you grab that personal effect out of the locker before we leave. Now we're going to boost across. Alright, so here we're going to boost straight across this little ledge. Then there's... yeah, it's really dark. Straight across over here. I'm try and be careful and not use up all my flares. I'm not sure where we fill up. Coming up here, it shouldn't be too far though. So boost across there. Alright, so now we're still in Chapter 6. And there's going to be a tricky spot coming up here. There's two collectibles that are right near a group of 3 spider crabs. So we're going to have to maneuver around them to pick them both up. Now, it might be a little different for you than it is for me, depending on their movements. So it's not going to be really easy for me to say, oh, just go here, because if they're moving in a different pattern, or maybe you shot your flare in a little different spot than I did, you kind of have to judge for yourself to navigate through the area. Basically just a big pit. And again, with the spider crabs, if you get too close to them, they'll just stab through this glass dome we're looking through and kill you because the water starts flooding in. And really the only thing you can do is just run away from them or shoot a flare that makes them stop moving. There's no way to attack and kill them. So basically what we're going to do is shoot a flare to make them stop moving and then zip by once we have like a good enough space to move past them. Alright, so there's oxygen there. I'm going to leave that. There's one cuttlefish kind of swimming back and forth through this area. Feel free to go for the achievement for not letting them grab you. Once you deal with him, go down this left hall. And this is the pit we're going to be going into, but before we do that, we're going to go in here and activate the shuttle doors. Now remember, if you do die, you'll start back up top where we just spawned. And if any collectibles you picked up will stay picked up. You don't have, they'll still be there for you to grab again, but you don't need to. It's already saved on your profile that you've picked it up. So if you die, come back to this area, and you still need to hit that shuttle door. So first we're going to grab this collectible here, this is personal effect. Then we're going to go back inside that room and fill up on oxygen, because we'll be in an elevated state where we'll be using up a lot of oxygen and a lot of flares, so we want to make sure we're full on both. Alright, so now you see all 3 of them. So the one we want on the far left there's a dead body right underneath him. We basically need to grab the ID off that dead body, and that spider crab won't move though. The other 2 are moving around. So we need to avoid the other 2. And there's a collectible over here on the right side. I'm in a pretty good position to pick it up. So it's right there on that head. That's a personal effect. Now keep an eye on the two that are moving and shoot a flare if they start to get towards you, and it'll make them stop. So right now they're kind of both heading towards me, so I'm going to shoot 2 flares and then boost right by them. There's 2 cuttlefish here. Usually there's only 1 actually, but there's 2 right now. So we're probably going to have to deal with these if they start attacking. And they're not so far. Oh, there they go. Okay, that one's dead. Usually it's only 1 here. Hopefully there's only 1 for you. If not, then just kill both of them. If they swim away and they stop attacking you, then just let them. Alright, they're both dead now. So the dead body's right there under this guy. Need to kind of move to the left a little. Shoot a flare. Make him like raise his legs up. Oh, I didn't get it right there. You basically want to move in once his arms are up. And then pick that flare, or pick that ID up. Those arms are up. Grab it, back up. As long as his arms are up like that, he won't stab straight ahead. So now I'm going to shoot a flare over here. Get the hell out of here. Oh, that was close. That one didn't get stopped. We're going to get out the same way we came in. Up that ramp. This one's way over here, so I'm going to make him stop. This one needs to stop walking back and forth in front of the door. Alright, we're good. So again, 1 collectible, the personal effect over there on the right. In that little kind of cage where the decapitated head was. And the ID on that spider crab. What in the world? That was weird. I've actually never seen that. So grab that oxygen. Now I can go up to the top floor, F2. But again, shoot the flare, like get close to him. Not close enough that he stabs you, but get a little bit close to him. Shoot the flare so he puts his 2 legs straight up. Creep forward, grab the ID right when the button prompt pops up on your screen, and then back up right after. And just keep an eye on the other 2 spider crabs moving around the area so they don't get too close.
It recedes. You might not notice that till you're topside, but it's always there.
Now in this area is going to be your first attempt at the In the Mouth of Madness achievement. That's for killing an anglerfish before it grabs you. Same sort of thing with the cuttlefish, except the anglerfish like bites instead of wrapping tentacles around you. But it's the same process. They charge at you, you hit X to swipe. First we're going to grab this personal effect here. Alright, now the anglerfish is behind this long kind of bar. I don't even know what the heck this thing is. Right behind this thing. This bar. So you can kind of see is straight ahead of me, that little glowing ball coming off of his head. So you're going to get close, let him pop up, and then back up and go for the achievement. Should probably take maybe 3 hits, maybe 2. Okay, that one only took 2. And I unlocked the achievement right there in the Mouth of Madness. So again, there's multiple spots where you can try that. I happen to unlock it there. Hopefully you do as well, but if you don't, there's other spots where you can try it. So now we're going to come in here. I'm actually out of flares, so I'm not going to be able to shoot a flare into this room, and I don't think there's any around here. But it's not too dark. So once we get in here, we're going to stick to the left side. You can see I'm going between these little shelves. Straight down, curve around to the right. I'm going to keep heading straight. You can see these blue lights over here. So we're going to interact with that. That's a key card and an access ID. We picked up both. If you turn around, there's another ID on this guy. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this oxygen as well. Now we're going to leave the same way we came in. So right, hang the corner to the left, and they can see the door straight ahead. So So we grabbed 2 IDs in that room.
So I did. Thought about giving up. With that much time to think about nothing. Just about it.
And if you need to, there's oxygen straight ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab it.
Designed to keep you safe, even from yourself. Makes it hard to take the easy way out.
There should be flares coming up here in the next room or two if you need more, because I am at 0. Alright, now we're going to use that key card to open this door. Swipe the key card on that little panel there.
Still, does it make it better knowing how bad
Alright, in
things
this
really
middle
The suit keeps
console
out
thing right here, you can pull the lever, that'll activate that shuttle.
Trapped in there with you, and it's thriving.
And in the same room, there's a dead body here, cramped in a little vent. You can pick up an ID there.
Drowning.
So I'm actually going to grab this O2. So now once we get here, I'm going to boost across. And there's going to be some flares right here we can fill up on. So what we're going to want to do before you jump off here, we're going to want to land on top of that little submarine there. So I'm going to shoot a flare, kind of light it up a little bit. So we're going to boost and land on top of this sub. Once we're on top, we're going to aim for this ledge. So just boost and hold forward the whole way, and you'll make it. And if we come over to this last open locker, grab this belt buckle, that's another personal effect. That is number 12, I believe. Grab this O2, and when you drop off, make sure you don't fall in the gap where the between like the sub and this walkway. You'll fall right back down there where the spider crabs are. Now we can go inside the shuttle and activate it. Now, coming up here in this next section, we're going into Chapter 7, where there's no collectibles, and it's just basically just walk forward to complete the chapter. But after that, we're going to be in Chapter 8, and it's like this big lava area. And the easiest way I've found to do it, and especially for this walkthrough, is to grab one of the collectibles, the one and only collectible in the chapter, and then actually restart the chapter and go a different way to pick up a miscellaneous achievement and complete the chapter. Now the reason I'm going to be doing it that way is because the level is very open and there's a lot of different ways you can go, and there's a lot of different spots where you can fight different creatures and get killed. But real quick, just for this chapter, you basically just walk forward. Just leave that sub and just keep walking forward, and a tree will spawn. But back to the next chapter, Chapter 8. So this is Chapter 7. No collectibles here, nothing to do here, just walk forward. So on the next chapter, Chapter 8, we're going to go one way, pick up a personal effect, restart the chapter, and then go a different way, grab a miscellaneous achievement, and complete the level. And the way I'm doing it that way is because it's really hard to do everything in one shot, because there's not a lot of spots to pick up O2. There's basically one spot, as far as I know. So it's like you have to go grab the egg, grab the personal effect, come all the way back, grab the O2, and then complete the level all in one shot. So it's a little hard to do that. And the area is very dark. So we're just going to do it in two different broken up sections. So once you see this tree spawn, we're going to head towards that. There's this little pond here. We're going to drop right in, get back into the ocean. Now, on this chapter coming up, you'll also be able to attempt the In the Mouth of Madness achievement for killing the anglerfish. I don't think I will be in this area to go for it, but I'll show you where you can go for it. It's just because the path I'm taking, I'm not going to run into the anglerfish, but there's plenty in this area. So if you need to chapter select to come back to the point to attempt it, this is a good chapter to do that on.
I was hoping you'd talk about the moment when you realized
obviously, if you didn't get it on that last part. Now, when you start here, you'll be facing a different direction than I am. So if you look down, I'm facing east right now. You might be facing a different area. So we're going to turn and go north until we hit this big lava, lava bed. Now you see there's rocks right there. You can already see some of the anglerfish. You can platform across those rocks and get to the other side, and there's a bunch of anglerfish over there. But we're not going to do that right now. We're going to go east. So I'm looking at the bottom here. You can see we're going east. But if you want to attempt that anglerfish achievement, you can go across right there. There's a lot over there. But there's also more coming up later in the game, so you don't have to go for it here. There's also a lot of cuttlefish in this area we're in right now. So if you follow the right way, you'll end up, there's this little, like, I don't know, cylinder thing right there on the ground. We're going to turn left there. Follow along this lava path. It's going to be on our left. There's also squid here. See, there's a squid up there. Also, you can go for that squid achievement, but it's not. This isn't really a great spot to try for it. I'm going to be going for it in a different section. So we're going to pick up this personal effect here. Let the game save. See its saving icon up in the top right. Now that it's saved, I'm going to go to event log. We're on chapter 8. You can see we got that collectible. I'm going to restart it. Now we're going to be going to complete the level, and along the way there's going to be a miscellaneous achievement we can grab.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I was hoping you'd talk about the moment when you realized that the ones you collided with.
Alright, now that we're back in, look at our compass, and we're going to go west this time.
Horrible.
I'm going to pop a flare. There's going to be some spider crabs up here, so we're going to want to make sure we avoid them.
I sure as hell didn't expect to run into them.
Somewhere around here.
I mean, I never found out who was in the other half.
There they are, over to my left.
Not alive anyway.
Alright, so we're going to follow this right path, which is basically just straight west. Round to the left of this big rock formation. So I'm going to pop a flare so you guys can see. We're going to go up this hill towards that crash submarine. And we're just going to stop here to grab this O2. Nothing else to get here. Now there's this little ledge that kind of loops around this big rock formation. So we're going to go around here. Now there's the platforming section. You won't die instantly if you fall into the lava, but it'll pop up saying like elevated heat detected or something like that, like extreme heat detected, I think. And you just need to like boost yourself out of there before you die. You will die after, I don't know, a few seconds. I've actually never died by that. So I don't know how long it takes, but your screen starts to get really blurry and you'll eventually die. So once we land over on this side, we're going to drop down into this cave on the left side here. Now there will be some spider crabs that we have to avoid in this area. Not as bad as that previous chapter. So if we turn around, and just to show you, there's ones that are like hidden in the ground like that. Most of them are dead, but there's one that will pop up and kill you if you walk over it. So go slow through here. Let this spider crab move out of the way. Just in case, I'm going to pop a flare so he doesn't do anything tricky and scoot across this left side. We're going to go slow again right here because I believe there's another one. Yep. And we need to go on the right side because if you go on the left, there's that dead one there, but it's actually alive. So I'm going to shoot a flare. We're going to kind of go up on this rock so we don't get too close to that one on the right. Make sure you don't go into that one that's on the ground right there because that one's alive. That was a little redundant. Alright, now coming up here is where we can get the miscellaneous achievement. Make sure you don't fall off this ledge too fast. So it's going to be right here on the ground on the left. Just need to walk up, look at this little area, look to the left, there's these little baby ones there. And the achievement just unlocked for me right there, the Orphanage. It's just for finding this dead cuttlefish and the babies. So now we can continue forward to complete this chapter. There's one spider crab, one moving and like two stationary in this area. These ones on the ground won't attack. We need to go straight ahead. It looks pretty good right there. This guy is zooming. This was one of the spots where I actually got glitched because I got to this area without taking this path that we just took now. And if you do that, there'll be a spider crab that's sitting right here in this cave and it just doesn't move. There's no way to make it move. I've had it one time where it did move, but that only happened once. Every other time it just sat there and I had to basically restart because there's no other way out of here. But take the way we just went now, it won't even be here. So we're gonna go left here, follow along this path. Drop down in here, fill up.
We're talking about protocol.
And that's
By
the end.
your own admission,
You can fill
there
up
are
at the
instances
beginning of the
where you
next
didn't
chapter.
Follow procedure. There's your radio and Cora. Granted, this was unprecedented.
So we're getting pretty close to the end. This will be chapter
As you
9
said,
coming up.
Second guessing puts
And there's
lives
only
at risk.
14 chapters, and some of the ones
Do you
coming
think
up
the
are really
outcome might have
fast
been
too.
better if you just followed the rules?
Well, it might, but there's no way to know that.
Alright, now we're in chapter 9, Walking Coffin. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up on oxygen. Flares on the left here. I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a flare. Probably should have done that before I refilled. Alright, so if you boost down here and you turn around, I'm gonna align it so you can see it a little better. There's a watch on this big piece of debris here. So that's personal effect number 14. And there's also an ID on this dead body right here. And I believe I've seen a cuttlefish swim around this area before. He's not right here for me now. But if there is one here, you can try and kill him. So that was ID. Oh, there it is. That was ID number 13. This one actually might just run away if you attack it. It might not let you kill it. Yeah, it just
So
ran.
you're lost
So
and looking for some way out of all of this. And really your
Alright, so you can
only
go either
option
way around,
now
right
is
here,
the
right or
outer
left, it doesn't matter.
habitat
I'm gonna go
listed.
left though.
And what's most unsettling
Once we get to this
to
part,
me
instead of going to the right
is
there, we're gonna
you're in
drop
this
down.
dive suit. You call it a walking coffin.
And try and shoot a flare, but it's
I
probably
can't
gonna
even
roll right
imagine
off.
what that takes.
It lights it up for a few seconds.
Takes everything.
Basically, we're just following along this path. Don't fall down to the left or you will die. Just stick to the wall.
Well, like I said, it helps you.
There's a green ghost
Focus
guy
on
over there.
what little's left.
Alright, now once you get here, it's kind of a dead end. You basically have to jump across. Just keep holding right trigger to kind of get over that ledge. And be careful on this part. You kind of go in and out. Make sure you let your thrust refill all the way before you use it again. Alright, now in this section, there's a couple of different like splitting paths, and if you take the wrong one, you'll just be right back at the start. I think your screen just keeps getting darker and darker too, so first one, it's either left or right. We're gonna go left. Now there's a couple more sections. This is the bike spot. We're gonna go all the way to the right here, around the corner. And now we're in this spot with the bookcase. I'm gonna shoot a flare because it's getting really dark. Go to the right here. None of these. We're gonna keep curving until one opens up on the left. So right here, curve all the way around to this one here. Now there's this big like granddaddy clock. We're gonna turn around and go backwards.
Even setting that aside, so much about your ordeal is almost beyond.
Granddaddy
people's
clock doesn't sound right.
comprehension.
Grandfather
Were you
clock?
ready for
Eh,
this?
something like that.
Or were you lucky?
No.
Alright, now in the spot with the flare, there's a
You
collectible
mentioned
basically in the
possibilities.
ground, right around the
Does
corner
part of
right
you
here.
wonder where you'd be if you'd never
So the
gone
flare
down
is
in the
right
first
there.
place?
Basically just hooked around this rock.
Not really.
And it was right there in the
I
ground.
mean,
So that was personal effect number 15.
that kind of thinking won't get you anywhere.
Now there is an anglerfish right here, so if you didn't get the anglerfish achievement earlier, you can try it right here. There he is. Come on. He's still not dead. There we go. Alright, now before you leave here, make sure you interact with this body.
I'm not proud of.
Take the
some of the
oxygen.
things I did.
Sounds like you just killed the guy because he stole his
But I'm not
oxygen.
leaving
And that's
anything
also
out.
an ID,
I
number
can't.
14. So now we're going to stick to this left side. There's going to be a little cave here where we have to avoid some spider crabs. Not too bad though. Most of them don't move. I'm going to go ahead and shoot a flare so you can see. So here's the cave where we're dropping down. There's going to be one on our left that's not going to move, so let's kind of stick to the right. And there's this big gap right here on the right side. I'm going to boost across it. And stick to the left once you land over here, because there's one hiding on the right there. Now we just need to make it out of here, and the exit's on the right side. So just make sure they're clear enough. Shoot a flare to make them stop, and then
Last
boost
day of
past.
third grade, we drive down to the dock. She points at her watch, tells me, close your eyes.
And it's
Puts her
really
hand
dark
on
right
my
here, so I'm
chest,
gonna shoot a
says,
flare.
10 seconds.
We're almost at the end of the chapter. We basically just need to climb up this little path here. Alright, climb up here, these little blue plants on the ground. We're gonna boost across this gap right here. I'll shoot a flare so you can see a little better. There it is. Boost across. And a little gap here, boost up. And now we're going into chapter 10.
By the time I climb onto the dock, she's already home.
Okay, chapter 10. So I'm gonna refill on everything. This is gonna be the level where I'm gonna attempt the Rorschach test achievement for dodging the squid's ink. I would say this is probably the easiest spot to get it. And it's pretty early on where you can just get there quick to attempt it. You know, you don't have to go super far through the level to try it. So if you don't get it here, if you haven't got it yet, or you don't get it by the end of the game, restart this chapter, chapter 10, and come back here to attempt it. And I'll remind you guys at the end of the game, so you don't have to try and remember that by the time we finish. Although we're getting pretty close to the end here.
So what do you say to
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to stand on this ledge and then thrust backwards, try and time it where they shoot the ink at us and we thrust backwards to avoid it.
Was it worth the cost?
We're going to grab a couple of things before we do that. So one is personal effect number 16, right here in this little kind of trash bag thing, whatever that is. Oh, there's some oxygen right here. I'm going to grab that. Go ahead and shoot a flare in here. There's some anglerfish in this area. And again, there's also squid. So no ID on that guy, but then once you walk away, this happens. Now we're good. So we're gonna actually go around to the right here. Following along this path, there's cuttlefish in this area too if you need to try and get their achievement. It's actually all three fish are in this area: cuttlefish, squid, and angler. So you can, if you're missing any of the achievements for any of them, you can try and get them here. So we're going to interact with this dead body here to retrieve the ID. Now we're going to make our way back, going kind of along the edge because it's really easy to get stuck in between these big yellow structures here. And because your suit's so big, you basically can't get out. Now this cuttlefish is attacking me from behind. Okay. I'm a little low on O2, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this one right here. Watch, there's a gap right here you can fall in between, so make sure you boost across. And I'm going to go ahead and do this part right now. You can do this part at any time, but I'm going to do it now. So we need to turn on the power, and to do that you hit one of these small ones, there's 4, and then 3 of these bigger ones in the back. I don't think it matters which one, they're all the same voltage. So 1 small one, 3 big ones, and that activates the power.
Value, logic, and precision. You talk a lot about times, distances, values.
Now we're going to go up on the ledge over here on the left and see there's the anglerfish over there on the left side.
Numbers are easy, it's people that are complex.
Now from this ledge, we're gonna jump across to where that guy is right there. You see the squid swimming through. Oh, anglerfish is trying to knock me off. And then he swam away. Okay. I'm gonna shoot a flare. I'm gonna land on this and wait for a squid to come by, and then try and thrust backwards to avoid the ink. So I'm gonna try and get a little close. One of these guys. That's one. Thrust backwards. I didn't get it right there. Go ahead and try it again. That one, for whatever, doesn't give 2 shits. Wait for another one to come by and do the same thing. Try and have him straight ahead of us. Once it looks like it's about to shoot the ink, thrust backwards. Right there. Yeah, you can actually kind of anticipate it. If you saw that, it takes a little while before he actually shoots it. So I just unlocked the achievement right there. Rorschach test. The timing is a little weird. If you do it a little too early, it doesn't count. And obviously if you do it too late, it doesn't count. So here we're gonna reroute the gas, put it to this middle one. Now we're gonna platform across these big yellow structures. Make sure you're letting your thrust recharge before you go again. Now you can either go for that one, or I'm just gonna curve around. Grab this O2, and we're gonna grab an ID card and a key card off this guy without falling. There it is. So that was ID number 16.
Answering all the same questions.
People ask all kinds of questions.
Now we can activate this
Says a lot
lift
about their character.
and get through the door on the upper
Especially
level
when it comes to
thanks to that key card.
Casualties.
So again, this is a really good level to try
So
for
what's
all
the
three of the
response
fish
when you do
achievements.
X?
Distracting the
About the
cuttlefish,
gory details.
killing the
I oblige. See which way
killing
they
the
wanna
angler,
take it.
and dodging the squid ink. Really, it's dodging the
What
squid
people
ink.
don't
That's the
get
main one you
is
want to
that
do
they
here.
Don't want me to keep going. Not really. There's only so much blood and guts people can take before.
Go ahead and grab this. Now there's going to be a guy that we're going to run away from.
Everyone has their limits.
It's like ice guy. If you stay too close to him, you'll get frozen and die. So once you see him, we're going to turn around and run the other way, and we're basically just going to be running away from him, trying to avoid him. That wasn't him. Going to be down here. This is another one we have to kind of let things load behind you. So I'm gonna stop for a second, move. Once you see him, turn around and and run the other way. There he is. Now you can turn around and go this way. Before you leave this tunnel, there's a collectible at the end on that little stand there. So don't drop down that hole just yet. Right up this little tray. Retrieve object, that's personal effect. Now you can come back and drop down this hole. Alright, so now we're in chapter 11, no manual
Very
for that.
candid when describing
A couple of collectibles we can get
circumstances.
on this level.
Times when you felt crippled with fear.
So if you curve around to the right there,
Bodies of friends,
see it says viewing
colleagues.
room, server room, we're going to go through this door.
It's clear you care.
And there's going to be an
There's an
ID on this dead
undercurrent
body
of
here you can grab.
detachment in
That's
the
number
way you present
17.
Some of the more
Boost across this little
difficult
gap.
moments. Was that your intention?
No, I've heard that before.
I'm going to go ahead and
I
fill
just
up
did
on
my
O2
best
and
to
flares while we're
paint a
here.
clear picture. When it comes to empathy, there's no manual for that.
There's going to be a little tricky part where we're going to have to kind of move a little fast, not super fast, but a little fast coming up here. So I'll try and give you the directions, but I don't know exactly, like left, right, left, you know.
Was it luck?
So first we're going to go through that door, then you see it's the same thing, so you turn around,
Discipline.
open
That's
this
how I
one.
got down there in the first place. That's how I got out. It's about keeping tethered to the task.
So we're good now.
You don't
Once
let
we pick
yourself
up this
forget about the
O2 here,
reality around
things are going to change and we're going to be out of O2 and we're going to have to kind of move a little fast. So pick it up, turn around. We're going to head straight back this way. And that's a dead end, and that was actually the wrong way. So we're going to go this way. I know what I'm doing. This is only my 4th playthrough. So use that card there, now it switches. So now we can turn around to the left here. That was a glass door, like a glass window in front of us. Curve around. Basically use your boost as much as you can right here. I've never actually died by going too slow, so it's not, it's not a big deal. But don't be creeping through this area. You gotta kind of move a little fast. Now that oxygen goes up, we're gonna jump through this gap here. Try to let that thing grab you. That kind of gets us out of the area. Now we can go to this door. And there's a keypad you see there, so we have to find the code for the keypad. It's basically finding all the numbers. So here's one right here at 6. Once you look at it, see it flashes up 6, and in the bottom right, you can see it says 6 there. So now if you turn around, interact with these monitors. Anyone will do. I'm going to hit this left one. A to interact. Wait for a second. And you see the number 3 pop up, and there it is flashing on my screen and in red in the bottom right. Continue on. We're going to loop around right here. There's a 0. Looks like it's made from some spilt liquid. Get in position so it pops up there. And then in this open locker, if you look inside, you can see the number 1. There it's flashing up in bottom right again. And the last one, back near the keypad, if you turn around, and on this hand you see the number 5. And that's all of them. I'm going to go ahead and grab this O2. We're not coming back in here. Interact with the keypad. Puts the code in. Now I can move on. Reset the hazard level.
You saw terrible things.
I'm maxed out on
And
flares,
even
but there's
if
flares
you
right
made
there
to
if you
the
need
surface,
it.
You couldn't count on being rescued.
So there's an ID right here on this
I've lost my
dead person. That's number
Did you ever
18.
feel like you were losing it?
And before we go through that door, there's a personal effect right here.
When they found me, I'd been floating on the surface.
That's
for
also
at least
number
5
18.
hours. I talked with therapists and trauma experts for
Now we can
months.
continue on.
They said I was hiding the hurt, but it's not true. I made mistakes down there, yes, but did I lose my mind? No. No way.
I'm a little low on oxygen, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And if you noticed right there, that was actually the start of a new chapter. So we're already in chapter 12. No loading screen, nothing. There's no collectibles on this chapter, but there are these ice guys that we have to run away from. So basically, you want to go in the direction that they're not. They'll be chasing you. You either want to go backwards. I think right here near the beginning, we're going to want to turn around really fast and go backwards. Yep, so right there, so turn around, backwards. Fall down this hole. There's one in front of us, so turn around, backwards again. Think, yep, one coming straight ahead, so turn left. Basically just go in the direction that they're not. Keep boosting to stay away from them. Now in this part, I can't remember left or right, watch for the red light. So he's left, so we're going right. And I think one is ahead of us, yep, so turn around, backwards. And now you're trapped on this one. The way we just came from is the way we're gonna go. So if you just stop here in the middle, it's gonna be this one right here. It's gonna be a guy. I don't know if you have to just stare at him, but I look around. Oh, no, it's actually that one. So yeah, I think it's not actually the same spot. So just look around there. You'll see that guy gets killed. and go that way.
Your story started with 20 people.
So now that was
but ends
chapter
with
12. Already done with chapter 12. So now we're on
so when it
13.
comes to telling those stories, you're the only one who can.
There's a responsibility to get things right for the record.
You can pick up that ID again, but we already got it, so it doesn't do anything at this point. Cuttlefish in here. Loop around. Before we hit that elevator button, there's some lockers over here against the wall. Interact with those to pick up that personal effect. That's number 19. If you notice, if you stand on this ice, you start to freeze, so don't stay on it for too long. Oh, the cuttlefish decide to attack. Go away. Alright. Just leaving him. So coming up here, we're going to have infinite boost. You basically just need to not touch the ground. I'm going to go ahead and grab oxygen. You'll have infinite boost and you just need to not touch the ground. So you just hold right trigger, and if you start to get too high up, you just let go and start floating down a little bit, and then hold right trigger again to keep going forward. Get too high to the ceiling, let go. We're just going to do that the whole way through. So this is chapter 13 again, and there's only one chapter after this. Alright, now we can boost again. Once you get to this ledge, then you have infinite boost. See, it popped up right there. So just don't touch the ground. You don't have to worry about these lights. They won't do anything to you. But if you touch the ground, you'll start to freeze. I'm not sure if you can actually get out of it or not, like if you can just boost out of it. But it's really easy. Just keep boosting. If you're getting too high to the ceiling, let yourself float down a little bit and then start boosting again. There's no creatures or anything to worry about in this area. Now coming up here, there's going to be some hands that like pop up out of the ground. Those will also freeze you, so don't stay in those hands for too long. You basically just need to use your thruster as much as you can and just like thrust past them. We'll be walking back on the ground here. So now our unlimited thruster is gone. So right here in the ground, the hands are going to pop up. Just thrust past once they pop up. Use it up, let it recharge, use it, let it recharge, use it, and then we're through.
All good. Let's try it reverse.
This, like, ice, water, mist, whatever that is, will freeze you as well. So this is one of those areas where we kind of have to let things happen. Just look at them, turn around, walk away a little bit, come back, look at them. Oh, there's 4. Okay. Turn around, look at him, he's gone. Turn around. And there he is, and interact.
Hey. You alright? Come on. Get back to the head.
Alright, so now we're in chapter 14, the last chapter.
Welcome back to
Hanger
Open
right
Air.
here.
I'm Emily Caleb.
Activate this
If
lift.
you're just joining us, my guest is Kip Mattis, sole survivor of the Oceanova disaster.
Now you should only be missing
First
3
book,
collectibles.
Hell or High Water, is a
All
harrowing
3 are
account of his
automatic
ordeal.
in this chapter.
Earlier, we talked about the life of
So you
aquatic,
don't have to actually
escaping
pick
the
them
flood
up, they'll
habitat,
just be
and
given to
being
you.
lost on the seafloor
Those should be your
inside a
last 3
half-ton
collectibles,
titanium diving suit.
which will unlock 2 achievements, and then we'll also get the achievement for just completing the game. And again, if you missed
Yep,
any
I
of the
know this
miscellaneous
might not
stuff,
be easy. but
whether
I'd like
it was
to
because
talk about
you know, you
that.
just couldn't kill him in time,
Can you
or
read that
whatever
for
the
us?
case may be. You can always just restart chapter,
The list is getting shorter.
restart those chapters that I mentioned,
Opens
10,
with its usual
8,
reluctance, flooding the room with light.
and that are really good for
Pause
trying those
there.
again.
I'm
So that
gonna
right
go.
there was our last personal
Tomorrow I'll
effect,
be the sole survivor.
and I just unlocked
But for
the
now,
Signs of Life
I'm not
achievement.
alone.
That knife was actually the
How
last
did you
personal
feel
effect,
when you figured it
so you
out?
should have unlocked that right there.
At that point,
The IDs will
close.
take a little longer
I
before
was
we get the
running on
achievement for
fear.
those.
So when I saw another suit in the room,
So once we
It's
come in
almost too
here,
much to
this is
process.
basically just
I couldn't believe
kind of
it was-
in-game cutscene. We have to just sit here and let this play out. The whole story is basically the guy talking was this guy that's in this pod, and you were this other guy named Virgil that
made it.
was trying to make
Just
it
like
through
me.
as well. And this guy saved himself, and now you can't get in. And
Inside the pod, and
he's gonna get saved and get out of here, and you're gonna be stuck down here forever and die.
Stop the launch. There's no override.
he's not coming back.
I'm sorry.
And that's on me.
So I'm just waiting. We gotta wait for this timer to run out.
So are you saying that if you did something differently, that Virgil would have lived?
That's right. Until I saw it. Fear in his eyes. I thought I was the only one. It was a bad call.
This can't be happening. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Alright, once it's launched, you'll be able to open this door. Just drop right down.
You didn't kill him.
Really? Who did? Bad luck. I'm responsible. Look, I'm up here talking with you. And he's still out there.
Alright, so now we landed down here. This is the end of the game. We'll just keep walking along this path. The credits will roll. You'll unlock the Wanderer achievement for completing the game. And after the credits are completely done, and then a little scene plays after that, you'll unlock the Memento Mori achievement for finding all the ID cards. So again, you're getting 2 right here. And that'll be the full 1,000 if you ended up getting all the rest along the way. If not, Chapter 8 and Chapter 10 are both really good to try for some of those. Chapter 8 for the Anglerfish achievement in the Mouth of Madness, and Chapter 10 for the Rorschach test achievement for dodging the squid ink. And then obviously some of the other ones, you know, you basically can get them all over the place. The cuttlefish, and those should be really the only ones that you might have missed. And again, so after these credits are all the way done, you'll pop the last collectible achievement, Memento Mori. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. Subscribe to my main man Maka's YouTube channel. Get a lot of these collectible achievement walkthrough videos. Hope you guys appreciate them. Drop a comment, let us know what you think. Like the video. All that good stuff. This is my 3rd walkthrough for Maka's channel. Blackwood Crossing and Uncanny Valley are the other 2 I did before this. If you are interested in those games, they're both very easy completions. 100% full walkthroughs, so it's very easy to get the achievements. Similar to this, a lot more straightforward than this one. This one was a little tricky because of the way the game works and the platforming, and you can actually die, whereas a lot of the other kind of 100% walkthroughs that you usually see, you can't. So that's it for me, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.